Hello, and welcome to my tutorial on setting up and operating the Flashforge Adventure 5M 3D printer. In this video, I'm going to guide you through unboxing, setting up your printer, loading filament, connecting to your computer, slicing models, and starting your first print. First, let's gather some tools. We'll need Allen keys to remove some screws, flush cutters to cut filament, and a USB drive to upload files if we choose not to use Wi-Fi. After removing the printer from the packaging, it is very important to remove the 4 screws located next to the yellow arrows. This will allow the print bed to move up and down during operation. Failing to remove these screws could result in damage to the printer. Next, install the spool holder on the back of the machine using the provided screws. Prepare the LCD screen by flipping up the brown tab. The silver side of the cable will go on the bottom side of the screen, shown by my finger. Insert the ribbon cable into the connector and flip the brown tab down. Make sure you pull on the cable to make sure it's seated firmly. Then, clip the tabs into the frame of the printer, and again make sure it's seated firmly. You may now plug the cord into the back of the printer and flip the power switch. After the printer boots up, we will then select our language, in our case, English. Here is where we can optionally configure Wi-Fi before the printer will start a series of calibrations. These calibrations will ensure a perfect first layer every time. To configure Wi-Fi, select your network's name and enter the password. I will skip this step for now and come back to it later. Next, the printer will perform automatic bed leveling and vibration compensation calibrations. These are entirely automatic, so just sit back and let the printer do its thing. Automatic bed leveling compensates for any inaccuracies in the build surface by probing the nozzle against several different locations along the bed. This helps the printer achieve a perfect first layer every time. Vibration compensation helps the printer find its ideal acceleration value. Do not be alarmed by any strange noises you hear during this process. It is normal. The next step will be loading filament. On the upper left, you can select which type of filament you would like to load. In our case, we'll stick with PLA. Then, press the load button. The nozzle will heat, and then the extruder motor will start to run. Remove the tube from the extruder so you can see the filament as you're loading it. Prepare the filament by removing it from the side of the spool and snipping it off at a 45-degree angle. This provides a nice tip and allows it to feed smoothly. Place it onto the spool holder and insert it into the tube. Push it until you see it come out of the other end. After the nozzle reaches its set temperature, the extruder motor will start to turn. You can then insert the filament into the extruder. Make sure you can see plastic coming out of the nozzle as it's loading. After it's done loading, simply remove it from the build plate. Next, hit the print button to print a test cube. This first test print should take about 3 minutes. When your print is complete, press the OK button to clear the message and remove the build plate. Give the build plate a flex to help remove the part, and be sure to remove any extra material on the build plate as well. Place the build plate back onto the printer by aligning it with the tabs on the back. To connect to Wi-Fi, select Settings, and then the Wi-Fi tab. Click Wi-Fi, and then turn Wi-Fi on. After it's connected, select the name of your network again. This will show you your IP address, and you'll need this again later. Now it's time to head over to our computers and open up OrcaSlicer. OrcaSlicer is the program that we're going to use to generate our own printing files. If you do not already have it installed, I will include a link down below to install it on your own computer. This is the screen that we will see when we open up OrcaSlicer for the first time. The first thing that we need to do is select which printer we're going to be using, as OrcaSlicer is compatible with many different types. Select Adventurer 5M 0.4mm nozzle, as that's the standard for most printers. This list shows all of the printers that we currently have configured. Select the Adventurer 5M from the system presets. Next, we will need to connect the software to our printer by entering the IP address that we obtained earlier. First, select Flashforge for the host type, then enter the IP address. You can hit the test button to make sure that your connection is working properly. Then hit OK. The next list is where you can choose which type of filament you would like to use. You can create your own filament profiles or use the system presets. Today we're going to stick with the Flashforge generic PLA profile. If you wish to edit your filament profile, you can press this button. The next list are your printing processes. These settings will affect the strength of your parts and the time that it will take to print them. They will also affect the overall cosmetic value of your parts. Just like the filament profiles, you can create your own profiles or use the system presets. Today we're going to stick with the 0.2 standard system preset. To load 3D models, simply drag and drop them anywhere onto the window. Now let's slice the model by pressing the Slice Plate button to get a preview of what our final product is going to look like. It will also give us information such as how long it will take to print and how much money it will cost in filament. Click the Export G-code file button to export the file to a USB drive if you wish not to use Wi-Fi. Otherwise, choose the Print button to upload the file directly over Wi-Fi. The Upload option will only upload the file, while the Upload and Print option will immediately start the print after uploading. To start your print, choose the second tab down and select your file. The leveling option will perform an automatic bed leveling before starting your print, which is useful whenever changing to a different type of filament. Press the green button to start your print. Congratulations! You've learned how to set up and operate your Flashforge Adventurer 5M 3D printer. Stay tuned for more videos where we'll be going into more depth on using OrcaSlicer.